Welcome back. In this video, we're going to be looking at the maximum or minimum values of our graphs. In other words, what value on my x-axis is either the lowest point on my graph or the highest point on my graph. So the y coordinate of that vertex is going to represent either the maximum or minimum value of my quadratic function. And it all depends on whether that parabola opens up or down. So if it opens up, let's look at this first graph. I'm going to have a minimum, meaning we will have no values of y that go below that value of my my y coordinate for my vertex. If we open down, we're going to have a maximum. The graph won't have a value that's going to exceed or be greater than that y coordinate of my vertex. So looking at example 5, f of x equals 3x squared plus 6x minus 1. We need to determine the vertex and then decide, does it have a maximum or a minimum? Looking at this equation, we can tell if it opens up or down from the value of a, or the coefficient of my squared term, quadratic term. Since it's positive, it's going to open up. Since it opens up, I have this situation on my graph. I know I'm going to have a minimum value simply because that graph opens up. Now, I need to determine my vertex. To do that, I'm going to use negative b over 2a to determine the x-coordinate, and then plug that value in to the function to determine my y-coordinate, and that will give me my vertex. So first, identifying a, b, and c. A in this case is a positive 3, b is a positive 6, c is negative 1. I really don't need that negative 1 at this point, but just knowing a and b, I can substitute in. I will have negative 6 over 2 times 3, which is negative 6 over 6. So that equals negative 1 for my vertex. I'm going to come over here and say vertex, negative 1. Now, to find the y-coordinate, I substitute negative 1 in to the equation. So I'll have f of negative 1 equals 3 times negative 1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 minus 1. 3, negative 1 squared is positive 1, plus 6 times negative 1 minus 1. So I have 3 minus 6 minus 1. So this equals negative 4, meaning my vertex is negative 4. The y-coordinate is negative 4. So I have negative 1, negative 4 is my vertex. Now, the minimum value, the point where y will not go below, is this, the y-coordinate of my vertex. Pause the video and please try example 6 on your own. Start it up when you're ready to check your answer. Let's see how you did. Looking at f of x equals negative 4x squared minus 8x plus 2, first determine, do I open up or down? It's going to open down. My parabola will open down because my a value is negative. So does that mean I have a maximum or a minimum? And then I'll need to know my vertex. So because we open down, my graph will look like this, and I will have a value of y on that vertex that will be the highest value of any of my y values. So now I need to determine negative b minus 2a, so a is negative 4, b is negative 8, c is 2, so negative b over 2a. So I'll have minus a negative 8 over 2 times negative 4, which will give me positive 8 divided by negative 8, negative 1. So my x-coordinate is negative 1. Substituting that in to my function, I will have f of negative 1 equals negative 4 times negative 1 squared minus 8 times negative 1 plus 2. Negative 4 times a positive 1, which is negative 1 squared, minus 8 times negative 1 plus 2. Negative 4 plus 8 plus 2. I have a value of 6. So that is my y-coordinate of my vertex and also my maximum value. My maximum value is 6, my vertex is negative 1, 6, and my graph opens down because a is negative. Please, before you leave the page, make sure that you continue on and do the self-check number 2 on the website, but also complete the few guided practice problems at the end of this note-taking guide and bring them to class with you next time we meet. Until then, have a nice evening and make sure you bring your questions and concerns with you when you come to class. We will take care of hopefully all your issues when we get there. See you soon. Bye-bye.